Clap?
You got it. Dude, I really shouldn't have had that large chocolate milkshake. I don't know why. I listened to my friend's suggestion. It was a mistake.
You shouldn't have done it.
I don't remember the last time I've had like a substantial amount of dairy in any meal or any snack in like the last decade. And I did it today.
I have a rule about milkshakes. Only have them if you're at home. Don't have them at the theater. Don't have them on the way to like anywhere.
Yeah, but you're old. You got to worry about that.
No, I don't. I never shit my pants.
I have. But I was at home, and it wasn't my fault. It was food poisoning.
How do you shit your pants if you're at home?
Well, one morning I woke up. I've told the story before, but one morning I woke up. For like a year, I was sleeping on my couch instead of my bed just because I didn't want to go in that dark, lonely room and face reality. Apartment? Yeah, I was just living in my apartment. I was in a slump. Wasn't very happy with what I was doing, with content I was creating. So I was sleeping on the couch every single night. I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I thought that was weird because normally I don't wake up until around 8 or 9. And I felt like a gurgle in my stomach. And I thought I just had a gas or a fart, whatever. And I let it go. And it was like hell's gates were opened. And it was just straight warm liquid all in my pants. It was bad, dude.
What did you do?
I had to like prop the back of my pants up to my butt and waddle myself upstairs to the shower. And then it kept coming.
Oh, you were at that place, the haunted place.
My first place, yeah, the haunted place.
Yo, can I ask you a real question about that?
Yeah.
Was that all the audio that you captured, was that real?
Yeah. To this day.
Get out.
To this day.
For real?
Yeah.
I don't like knowing that that's a thing, dude.
That was a real thing.
I don't like knowing that.
You know what's wild about it too is that that was before the ghost hunting trend on YouTube got really big. I should have stayed on it. Obviously, it creeped me out when we did it.
Yeah.
So
if you would have told me that, I would I never stay there. I would never stay there. I just don't think that I'm about that life, man. I think that those are one of the few things that I just wouldn't be about. Anyway.
Well, don't worry because that shit was all fake.
Okay. Welcome to episode number 67 of the Eavesdrop Podcast.
None of it was real.
My brother NADESHOT here.
Hey,
what's good? Got the brand new teeth.
Brand new teeth. I should have went one shade wider. I should not have listened to my dentist. I'm a little upset about that.
Yeah?
I think he was more concerned. Well, first of all, Dr. Gabe, you're the fucking man. And I appreciate the work that he did on my teeth. But I think dentists, when you ask for their opinion, they're more concerned about making your entire smile the same color and making them look real.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what other dentists respect.
Yeah.
And other cosmetic dental work, they want it to look real. And my bottom teeth aren't as bright as my top, obviously. And he asked me if I want to go one shade wider and asked for his opinion. He said, I don't think you should. When you have this many teeth whitened and veneers, it looks brighter than just if you only did a couple. But I regret not going one shade wider because I wanted people to be blinded when I smiled. But they still look good.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm going to your same doctor.
He's great, man.
Yeah, I'm going to set it up. So I'll be back maybe within the next month.
He's awesome to work with. I had a lot of fears going into it. I hate the dentist. He made it super easy.
I just hate the fact that, obviously, old, right? 1980. In Juarez, there was no, like, dentistry.
Yeah.
Right? So there wasn't, like, an option for me. And I wasn't really, like... You know, my parents weren't super strict about brush your fucking teeth, you dirty little motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never really did. Like, I would obviously wake up and before I go to bed, but I think that's the one thing I regret about being a human being is like that I never took care of my teeth. I have gaps because I used to put coat hangers in between because I have no toys. So I have to entertain myself somehow. And I walk around like, ah.
That's actually advice that a lot of older people will give younger people. It's like, what's one thing that you would go back and change is brush your teeth.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing because my parents actually were strict about brushing my teeth. But as you get older, they're always, hey, you got to take care of this yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but when I was younger, I was such a lazy kid. I didn't want to get out of bed and go brush my teeth every night. But I also had chipping and discoloration because of braces. So it wasn't the lack of proper hygiene, but that was definitely part of it.
Yeah. So I was talking to Mud Dog. Mud Dog said that he did all his teeth except for the molars because he had an accident and that shit was
car accident. It was crazy when he told me the story.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do. Can they do the bottom ones too?
You should do your whole mouth.
I am gonna do my. Thank you. But yes,
I actually didn't mean it like that, but it worked.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna.
You should.
Yeah. How much was it?
Well,
can you talk about
yeah, I don't care. It was $2,000 a tooth. And
$2,000 a tooth. How many teeth?
I did 10.
So $20,000.
Yeah, you could do the math. And
so $40,000 for me.
Yeah, but depending on if you're willing to make some social posts, he could work with the price on
good.
You.
No.
Okay.
I'm not showing anybody my teeth up close.
Well, it wasn't that substantial of a discount, but I actually like Dr. Gabe. So I've talked about my teeth and the fact that I didn't like it before.
Yeah.
And I feel like anything I change in my life or do something different is just another storyline to talk to people about.
Yeah.
And so I was fine with, I'm not going to disclose the discount he gave me because it's his business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should do all your teeth. It was so much easier than I actually thought it was. Don't get put down. You don't need anesthesia. Do the laughing gas. I mean, you smoke weeds, and so you're used to that sensation. Laughing gas was awesome. I was really intimidated by it. Super easy. It's like 2 or 3 different appointments to get it all done. You won't feel any pain. It was awesome.
My dog said that he got put down and he was not.
I told him not to.
He said I was not going to stay away for that shit. I'm like, can I be put down the entire? Okay, so from a pain perspective,
no pain.
Really?
No pain.
So I'm a bitch when it comes to that.
No, dude, you're talking to king bitch here. I mean, I don't go to the doc. I don't mind the doctor. I hate the dentist.
Yeah.
But you don't feel any pain. The only thing that's a little uncomfortable, and it's just because you realize he's doing it, is he'll put topical numbing on your gums.
Yeah.
And then you have to get a shot for every tooth.
Yeah.
You won't see the needle.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But you can feel the sensation or the pressure of the needle going in. There's no pain.
Yeah.
I am the king bitch. Don't get put down.
I just had skin tags removed because I had 3 skin tags.
Really?
You get them when you're old. So 1, 2, 3, and I got to remove because it was getting stuck to my chain.
I remember seeing those skin tags.
Yeah, and then I had one here in my eye, and then I had 2 here.
I was wondering what was different about you.
I didn't have a Hermie.
Yeah.
I was really sad when they took them, because I named them shit.
Yeah.
And they say never name something that's temporary.
Ralph and Frank, man.
Who's that?
The trophies from Black Ops 2. I just call everything inanimate objects Ralph and Frank.
So I did it, and they're like, all right, no anesthesia. Oh no, they're like, it's gonna be anesthesia. I'm gonna pick it. I was like, it's gonna sting, then it's gonna burn. And I was like, okay. So he like put it in, and I'm like, oh my god. And then it burnt. I'm like, okay. And then I just followed the track in my head. I'm like, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's gonna go in my eye. The dude grabbed the needle and put it in my eyelid up here.
Ew.
And then he started burning it, and he's like, don't worry about the smell. And I'm like, is that my flesh? Yeah. I'm like, oh my god.
I wonder if that's similar to the process of getting a wart removed. I've had to get a wart removed off my leg before.
Yeah.
They just freeze it off.
No, this was burn. Oh, you heard and then all of a sudden.
I'm good on that.
So from a cosmetic surgery standpoint, I'm no rookie, and I don't mind needles, and I've had numbing on my gums with the actual thing, and I still have like a little bit of scarring. I can feel it on the inside of my mouth a little bit, so I'm good. But when I used to get my teeth whitened for like 2 to 3 days, it felt like I had more like 2 days. It felt like there was fireworks shooting up into my gum.
Yeah, it's something on your nerves.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the one thing that I
felt that before. I said my bottom's whitened too.
Yeah, and I hate that. I literally hate that. So if it's not gonna hurt like that,
do not get put down, because laughing gas, the great part about it, as soon as they take it off and give you oxygen, you're back to normal. So the effects wear off literally in seconds.
Which ones are the loopy ones? The one that make you say like a whole bunch of shit?
Nothing, dude. I'm telling you, the laughing gas is, it's. You just laying back, and whatever he needs to do, you're just like, all right, doc, take care. Mm-hmm. Whatever you need. And if anything is wrong at all, just raise your right hand. I'll stop immediately. And so the only thing that made me weirded out at first was when he started drilling, because I could smell my teeth being drilled on. Mm-hmm. But after I got over that, it was fine. Don't get put down.
No?
And it's extra. It costs extra as well.
Yeah, I don't care.
They need to bring in an anesthesiologist. I promise you.
Yeah?
Trust me.
All right. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be fucking...
Can't wait, bro. You're going to look rich.
Woo, finally. You know what I'm saying? Because money will dress this bummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. You look good.
Anyway, I was actually kind of hyped because I always wanted to do it. And Jude got one. veneer because she didn't like the way she had braces. She has a fucking awesome smile, and I was like, I don't know why that bothers you so much.
Yeah.
It bothered her, so she got something done, and she was, why don't you just ask me why did you believe Matt over me? And I'm like, he got his whole fucking mouth, the whole top teeth.
I was gonna smile the whole podcast. So
yeah, do it,
Man,
dude. They look really good, and that. So, like, obviously you got to brush them, but is it individual teeth that are put in there?
Yeah,
and they never like overlap or go weird with it.
No, he's a pro, man. Dr. Gabe, he's a man.
Dr. Gabe, look at that.
He lives right down the street too.
Matt, your dad's a dentist. Does he do this shit? Can he give me a discount? Oh, he's just a regular one? Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go.
No, go to Dr. Gabe. Trust.
I am. Anyway, thank you for hopping on. It's been exactly almost 2 years since you were on the podcast. You were I think, episode number 3 or 4. There was 4 people that I interviewed for my first podcast.
Told me I was going to be the first episode. I
told everybody
jaded about that.
I was, but the way that we recorded it, it was weird. It was you good? It was weird because
too much.
It was David Vonderhaar, then Scump, then
Fwiz.
you. Oh no, Fwiz was number 1. Fwiz, Vonderhaar, Seth, or him and then Seth.
Now would be a good time to have Vaughn on.
Yeah,
Treyarch just announced in Raven software.
It was difficult to. One day, I want to sit down with Vonderhaar and like really ask him the questions.
We're gonna have to wait till he leaves Treyarch, whenever that is.
I don't think he ever will.
Yeah, well, he said a long time ago that I think like it was Black Ops 3 that was gonna be the last Call of Duty he ever worked on, but I just don't think he could rip himself away from the work and his legacy.
No, it's insane. The amount of people that hype him up too, me included, like it's hard to walk away from.
Yeah, I think he likes it.
You think he likes the?
Well, I think he likes the attention to a certain degree. I know that he's had issues with security and people threatening him because regardless if the threat has any warrant behind it or any
merit
realness, it still makes a person feel uncomfortable. But I think I think he likes the excitement around the game that he's creating. Who wouldn't? Yeah. It's like immediate dopamine.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be hard for him to tear away from that cycle that he has every 3 years.
Yeah. Anyway, so 2 years almost. A lot has happened, right? I was still with OpTic when we first do this thing. You just had become CEO, I think. Mac Miller had just died. Like, it's been a long ass time since we did this.
It has been, man.
Which is weird because we see each other enough, but most of the time we're just hanging out.
Yeah, and we FaceTime, like once or twice every month.
Yeah, but that just doesn't work. And I like doing these in person. I like doing these like podcasts in person. I just think that it has been weird for you and Jack to do them over Zoom calls or shit.
Well, it feels silly just because we built this multi-million-dollar facility, the Cash App compound, and we built this incredible production studio, and we've only used it once. And the second time that I think we used it, I wasn't even on the show because I had at the time, I'm pretty sure it was COVID. Well, but they thought it was the flu. They just wrote it off as the flu. I didn't get tested. I think it was COVID. We had Jack Dorsey come on the podcast when I still had the NADESHOT self-made podcast. But it's actually been easier. I'm surprised with how easy the transition from working in an office has been to, just working from my bedroom. It just feels familiar, like what I used to do.
Do you miss going in?
I miss the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
I mean, there were certain things I didn't like about working in an office. I always felt obligated to make myself look busy because I knew everybody else was working, and I felt a sense of guilt when I wasn't.
So what would you do, like, to pretend?
Shit. I mean, the new office, dude, I've got these blackout shades I could, motorized, they go down, and then nobody bothers me. But I don't feel guilty anymore. I mean, I've been busting my ass during quarantine.
Yeah.
I was streaming a lot. I do my part.
Yeah.
So I do miss seeing the people. I feel like energized sometimes when I'm in the office with that many people. And I feel like communication has gotten a little difficult just because I don't use like our internal communication that much. It's just like, if you guys need me, just text me.
Yeah.
But it's been all right. Can't complain.
We had a couple of projects that were supposed to launch at the beginning of the year that they kept going, but we haven't announced them. And that shit sucks because like a lot of people were putting like hard work into this shit, and we didn't. It for me, like, nothing really changed because like immediately I told Matt, I'm like, all right, if you're gonna come into work, you have to abide by all the rules and you have to self quarantine, and if you go out, sanitize, the whole thing. All the content guys too. I mean, obviously they don't leave, or not the content guys, but content guys and Seth and them. Like I told them, I'm like, yo, if you guys are gonna go out, you guys can't be coming in here. So we did like everything. We even did the 6 foot apart shit from the wall to. We really took that shit serious, and it's a serious matter, obviously. But Texas just didn't give a fuck, and they opened it up,
bro.
Right? So for us, it didn't bug because we were in our own little bubble, and we didn't really like go to any bars or like that. Like even lunch was kind of difficult, because in Texas, if you didn't know, it's very, very Republican, right? So if I'm wearing a mask, then I hate freedom, and I'm not an American.
It's just divided.
And then if I don't wear a mask, then I'm an asshole who's self-centered and doesn't care about people.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm just going to do the right thing. I'm going to follow science or whatever. And then for as long as it is, I don't know anything about that, right? Like if people say, if medical people, if medics and fucking scientific people, folks,
so eloquent,
are telling me wear a mask, I'm going to wear a mask.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason not to wear a mask. I was just talking about this on stream, and we talked a little bit about it on the Hecz and Nade show. My biggest question is, in America right now, the mask as a topic is very controversial, where I would say like 75% of Americans probably believe that the right thing to do is to wear a mask. And then you have the other 25% where they have a bunch of different reasons, like you're taking away my freedom, or God doesn't want me to be breathing in the carbon dioxide that I'm breathing out, and a whole list of reasons. And my question is, do other countries have people that are just irrational and say shit like we do? Because everyone's, obviously the joke is America has these cases, it's always rising, other countries don't. So I'm wondering, there has to be other countries where you have like this radical thought that this mask is a plot by the government to kill me or take away my rights.
I don't know. Japan did a really, really good job of just like canceling it all.
Well, Japan, I mean, they already have a society and culture that wears masks frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pre-COVID,
I remember
if you walked around Japan or went there, a lot of people had masks on. It was just something that they did.
And is it? I always wondered. I'm like, oh, they must be sick, or they don't want to get sick, but it's they don't want to get other people sick.
Yeah,
like
it's a really proud nation and mindset.
Yeah, you can't even spit on the street. You get fucking caned.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's Japan. That's like Taiwan or something.
I think the biggest issue in America, and this is just my perspective, and you don't have to agree with it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I feel like there's no... people talk about having a sense of pride in freedom in your country, in the United States, but I feel like people don't really care about their neighbors or the strangers on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously it's tougher depending on where you live and what's happening around you. But there's no sense of, love thy neighbor and care for these people around you. And I think that could be an issue with just so many different cultures. They call the United States a melting pot. But if you go to Japan or China or any other country that is primarily the same race and religion, there's a sense of belonging, I would say. And I think that's just instinctual and biological in how people think. And I feel like that's the biggest issue in America is people don't care about each other.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue.
It's such a weird time. I was telling my Uber driver today through my mask that this is the most pleasant experience I've ever had in LA. There's no traffic. Yeah. I got to the place that I needed to go to in 20 minutes. As it said on my Apple Maps, it wasn't an extended additional 20 minutes because of traffic. It's Saturday. It's Sunday in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And there was like no issues me getting there. And the Uber driver said that this is the best summer that LA has ever had in the last 20 years. Dude's been here all his life. He's like, this is the best summer it's been, but nobody's enjoying it because everybody's inside. And then I said, well, maybe it's because we've been, the smog and all the pollution has sort of like reshaped the way that the clouds form or whatever.
Well, wait, what was he saying? Why it's the best summer? What was it? What did he?
He just said that the weather.
Dude, it's like this I've been living here for 5 years. I've been living here for 20, but the weather's always like this. The weather here is the same every day, unless it's June gloom, where it's just cloudy in the morning.
Yeah.
Or like 2 years ago, we had a really bad drought, and then it rained for like a month straight. There's actually a ton of flooding. But the weather's the same all the time.
Now, the dude seemed uber positive.
Yeah, but he probably thinks it's been a great summer because he doesn't have to deal with traffic every day if he's driving Uber.
That's also true.
He's probably just happy.
The fact that you were able to see the Eiffel Tower from some parts in London goes to show that there is a massive pollution problem.
Don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Cars not being on the road every single day and, basically cities coming to a halt for sure. It's definitely helped. Because I do remember air pollution has gone down drastically. I mean, they took like satellite imagery of, I forget what city, I think it was just a general continent. And they like the astronauts that were up there or the satellite photos they'd taken, they've never seen it so clear.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that movie Day After Tomorrow.
So good. I just watched it.
When the storm clears up, you're like, wow, you guys aren't going to believe this. It's beautiful. I've never seen the earth like this.
Yeah.
Maybe we need that. Shit. I live in Southern California. I think that was like the safe zone.
No.
People went down the border to Mexico.
Yeah.
But I think I'd survive.
I don't think I could ever go back.
To Mexico?
Yeah. I'd probably stop like in Dallas. I think I'm as far south as I'm willing to go.
I could live in like Tulum or...
Where's Tulum?
I don't know. I don't know where Tulum is. I swear to God, though, it's in Mexico. Every single person in Southern California, it's like, oh my God, you haven't been to Tulum yet? Tulum. I mean, even Hailey's been there a bunch of times. Like all of the rich folk, it's like the place to be is Tulum.
And it's in Mexico.
It's in Mexico, and it's one of the most expensive places.
Is it Baja California?
I have no idea.
I think it is. I think it's in Baja. Oh, no, Tulum. That's not Tulum. That's by Yucatan.
Did you spell Tulum right?
T-O-L.
Is it T-U-L-U-M?
It's Tulum.
Yeah, apparently it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not. That's
Cabo.
That is 2 hours from Dallas. Believe it or not.
Well, you should go to Tulum then. You should take Judith on a vacation. I shit you not. There's two things in LA that every white girl knows about. It's Tulum and then the cloud couch from Restoration Hardware. I did not know what either of these things were until I'm at, like a poppin' day party and every single girl is like, oh my God, Tulum.
Oh my God.
Wait, you have a cloud couch back at the house?
What's a cloud couch?
Cloud couch is from a store called Restoration Hardware. Mm-hmm. And it's if you are successful and you care about your comfort, you should have a cloud couch. Because what I didn't realize is that the house that we rented for the last content house for 100 Thieves, it had a Restoration Hardware cloud couch inside. And I was always so obsessed with it. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And then one time a girl finally came over to the house and said, you guys have a cloud couch? And that's when I learned.
A cloud couch?
Bro, I mean, the story of a cloud couch even goes as far as I was on stream with Devin Booker, and I think it was like the first time that we actually played together. And he was talking about how he got a new crib. He's been into wine, into art, and all these things.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro, let me ask you something. Do you got a cloud couch? He's like, oh, shit. Yeah, you know all about that. I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, yeah, man, I filled up my entire like theater room with it. So it's like $5,000 for each piece or $4,000. If you get a full couch, I think it's anywhere between like 20 to 40 grand. No bullshit though, Hector. It is the comfiest couch I have ever sat in my entire life.
I've never heard of it.
It is life-changing. It is life-changing.
I can't believe Judith has not. Maybe she has. She's
cloud couch.
Then my theater room's about to be transformed then.
Dude, it'll change your life.
Really?
I
cloud
swear.
Couch. Maddie, make a note of the cloud couch, please.
If you want, Hailey has one at her apartment. That was what she was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Get these chairs out of here and bring the couch in here.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Really? I don't know. There's like the sheets that you guys use here.
Sheex.
Like they're stretchy, man. I get in and I only like undo the corner. Like when I'm in a hotel, I only undo the corner of the bed and then I sneak in and I'm cocooned. I don't move around at night either, but I just like to be hugged. You know what I mean? I like to be, and this goes back to when I was a little kid. There used to be, in my room, my sister and I shared a room, and our beds were like against the wall. And what I used to do is I used to wrap myself in the blanket and then like lean onto the side and sleep in between the bed and the couch.
Yeah. So for sure.
Not the bed and the wall. So I wasn't, that same wall, by the way, made me hurt for the rest of my life because I did a somersault onto the wall and my tailbone hit. And since I was 8 years old, my tailbone has if I sit, that's the only reason I fly first class. I'm a man of a people. I'll fly in the back. I don't give no fuck, but my butt hurts. So
hey, that's what you get for being a stupid ass little kid doing shit you weren't supposed to do. And that's how you learn.
I coat hangers in my teeth and fucking somersaults on the bed onto a wall.
Yeah, but Sheex, bed fittings and the sheets in general are incredible. SHEEX. Sheex. If you guys want to send me free shit, feel free.
Yeah,
incredible, dude. I got that actually from Justina, my ex. I mean, those sheets they put me onto that.
Yeah,
you get them at like Bed Bath and Beyond, and it's like it keeps you warm, but also keeps you cool at the same time.
Yeah,
like people talk about getting like 1,000 thread count, Persian silk sheets.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit, bro.
It is?
Sheex, it's all you need.
Bro,
and for any guys, you want to impress a girl, you ever bring a girl back and you got these sheets, dude, she want to come back just for the sheets. Even if you suck at fucking and you can't do it right, the sheets will bring them back, and that's a fact.
Yeah,
and at least you'll think you're sophisticated in some way. Like, oh my god,
this whole thing about lasting long and treating them, making them smile. No, it's all about the sheets.
Yeah, you don't have to know where the clitoris is. I still haven't found it.
It's a mythical. It doesn't exist.
The limit does not exist. The clitoris does not exist.
So Hutch says, "He's like it's like bollocks. It does not exist."
You ever seen an episode of I used to watch South Park a ton as a kid, and I was talking about this the other day, where they basically set it up like these kids were on a quest like Lord of the Rings, and they had the staffs on and the cloaks, and they were trying to find the clitoris. It's so good.
I think my favorite South Park episode.
Favorite South Park episode.
I have two.
Have you seen my baseball?
I have two good ones. The Michael Jackson one, rest in peace, and the one where
throw that in. Did he diddle them kids? We don't know.
We don't know. I
don't know if it's cool to be cool with Michael Jackson anymore.
I don't know. I haven't played his music in a long time because of the show. But the other one was where they theorized, there was a hypothesis that said that if you eat through your asshole, you shit through your mouth. If they did. They fed themselves through their ass and they were shitting through their mouth.
What was this?
South Park.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
They did like a Human Centipede episode like that, I think, too.
They were ahead of the game. You know what's crazy is that I don't know what year it was that I stopped watching cartoons.
Yeah.
And if it wouldn't have been for me giving... We didn't hear that. Don't worry about it.
Nah, there's no way these mics picked that up. I drink a large milkshake, for Christ's sake. Like,
I told you, mid-podcast, you're going to be like...
And I'm a very gassy person, just in general. Like, there's got to be something wrong with my intestines.
No. I think you're overdoing it.
No, it's been my whole life, bro.
Anyway, I if it wouldn't have been for your recommendation of...
Hunter x
Hunter, I wouldn't have watched it. And if I wouldn't have seen the first episode, I wouldn't have been as hype as I was about it, which was the fishing, episode. I was like, oh my God, why don't you tell me? Like, I would have been hooked right there. I don't like that they give you the same, like, it's like 20 minutes worth of content and there's like a shit ton of episodes, but I don't like reliving like the first 10 minutes of last episode on that thing. But what I'm saying is that
you don't, though.
Why? What do you mean? Yes, you do.
Well, the first minute
it's a
pick
recap.
Up.
Yeah.
No, it's not a recap. It's not. I promise you, it's not. I mean, I've watched it 5 times. The first minute is like them picking up where they were from the last episode. But Hunter x Hunter, surprisingly, one of the animes that like they cut to the chase immediately. Like every aspect of the story, it keeps moving. There's a lot of animes like Dragon Ball Z was the first anime that I ever watched.
Same.
And
in high school.
And one episode, like 3 episodes would be like 2 minutes of real time. So Hunter x Hunter doesn't do that shit unless you get to the last arc. And I'm not going to spoil it for everybody.
Please don't.
But I think it's a bad take. They definitely go into detail on moments that are happening in the show.
Yeah.
But it moves pretty quickly. I mean, I'm on episode like 70 with Hailey. She's the first time she's watching it.
Yeah.
She loves it. Yeah, it is 20 minutes of content, but they get to the point.
Yeah, I like it, and I used to watch like a lot. Initial Drift. Did you ever watch that?
Nah.
So good. It's a racing. It's a racing. They even made a movie about it. It's on Netflix. So good. Like the best racing anime you're ever gonna watch. Initial D. I mean, obviously I haven't watched all of them, but that's what it is. Ronin Warriors. Yeah. That shit was like one of my favorites. Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, like everybody likes that. I never got into Naruto. Or what's the other one? The Airbender one.
Avatar: The Last
Airbender.
Man. Well, that's an American-made cartoon.
But like I remember in Mexico, I used to watch this one where I don't know, I can't even explain, so I'm not going to it. But I don't know at what age I stopped watching cartoons because I used to be like a massive fan. I used to draw Bart Simpson and Ren and Stimpy. That was like my junior high school, which was just 8th grade because I moved here. all I did was draw Bart Simpson and Ren and Stimpy like over and over again. That was like my thing.
I don't watch Family Guy or South Park anymore. I used to watch Futurama and Simpsons. I don't know what I think it was like. I think I just stopped watching TV in general. And I think you could watch like Family Guy or all these other shows on one of these streaming platforms, but I just don't watch them anymore.
Yeah, my brother watches all that
anime
shit.
Still.
My brother watches all those things, and he'd be sending me jokes about it. I'm like, I don't get that shit. Stop fucking sending me that shit.
Yeah, there's some like Bob's Burgers I heard was really good. I never watched that. It's a bunch of shows. I like watching real shit now.
Yeah, I like watching the realest of the shit. Succession is my favorite show right now.
Succession's great. They haven't even started filming season 3 yet, which is kind of a bummer. The Boys is coming back on Amazon.
The Voice?
Oh man, have you not seen The Boys?
Oh, The Boys. That's the supervillains.
Yeah.
Shout out supervillains. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they're watching.
Who? No, they don't. My friends? No, they don't watch any of my shit.
That's the joke.
The thing about being a content creator and having friends outside of the industry is that they really don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
They don't give a fuck.
Until I got a text. I'm planning this golf trip with one of my best friends, Rich, and we're bringing my dad and my brother and his brother to Pebble Beach and playing all the nicest courses pretty much on in the United States.
Where is it?
It's in Monterey, which is like south of San Francisco. It's like a 4-hour drive from here. And I forgot why I brought this up.
Popularity, people don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah. So my brother, I don't think he watches any of my videos or anything. He's got shit he's got to do. And then he said something along the lines of couldn't even place top 30 in a Twitch Rivals tournament. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. How did you know that?
Yeah.
So he must have been watching it at some point. But yeah, I don't have any friends, none of my close friends watch my videos or streams.
One of my friends does, Jory. Shout out to Jory. What's up, Jory? 606 Entertainment, baby. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. Everybody, I mean, maybe some of them do, right? But the majority of them don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Which is good because, it's reliving shit. When people obviously we're very when you vlog every day, you have to obviously be as entertaining as possible. Yeah. And some of the shit that I say doesn't necessarily coincide with certain shit. You know what I mean? And they're like, yo, what the fuck? Are you really mad at this dude? I'm like, no, this is for the vlog, dude. Listen, don't ever fucking listen to what I'm saying on the vlog. Sometimes it's not as dramatic as it seems. That's just the way that we like to
play the game.
Yeah, we got to play the game.
You're pretty much the same person, though. I actually think you're funnier off camera than you are on.
Yeah, my brother said the same thing.
You are. And you just get when you get on camera, you just get a tad bit nicer.
Me?
Yeah, but I think what's so funny about you is Hector and Fwiz, I think I learned a lot from when I was growing up, just because you guys just always have a reply. There's certain people you just don't try to banter with or roast because you're not gonna get the last shot in. You will not win. And you and Fwiz are the two that I just won't do it with.
Yeah.
But it helped me a lot learn how to actually banter like a functioning adult that that could be a good friend.
Yeah. My brother, we did the podcast and everyone was like, it was a funny ass podcast, right? Fucking almost Sark level funny. The amount of people that were in there watching, they're like, yo, why don't you and your brother do more podcasts? Or
to this day, I can't believe you guys don't do more.
Yeah, so me too. But he just doesn't want to fucking do that shit. He
doesn't want money and fame.
No, well, he wants the money. He definitely doesn't want the fame though.
Dude, your brother is your brother's way funnier than you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We're like the same.
Funnier.
We're like the same fucking person though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
except that he doesn't give. He gives less of a fuck on camera, and I give a fuck on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he just doesn't give a shit. Did we cut anything from that podcast, Matt? Yeah, he was saying names and shit. He didn't give a fuck. I'm like, dude, you can't be talking about shit. People you beat up when you were in fucking high school.
Dude, he would be a star.
That's what I keep telling him. He's like, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
He said it in the podcast too. He's like, I know that at any point that I want to, I could start a YouTube channel and then just use you as clickbait or use all the people that you know as clickbait, and be that. But it's just not for me.
I respect that.
The one thing that I've learned though about being on in semi popular on the internet is that you become more popular to the people that you don't really know or that you didn't really fuck with or talk to on a regular basis because their kids do watch, and then they see they're like, I want to be a streamer, and obviously they see the orgs and who's what, who's this character and that character. Like just yesterday, Judith told me that one of her friend's sons, who I've met, but they were like fucking kids. They started freaking out because they were watching one of my vlogs, and her friend's like, "Oh, that's my friend's husband." He's like, "You've met him?" And he's like, "What? No, we haven't. No, we haven't." And they started freaking out. And I'm like, man, these kids got to be like 13. Zero chance that they've watched me for like an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is or how they get introduced to certain things. Like maybe it's Call of Duty and that's how they know me, because it certainly isn't something else. And I just assume that any kid that enjoys YouTube now or gaming content is not a Call of Duty fan. It's more like a Fortnite person. You know what I mean? So I get like super weirded out by shit like that.
Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite stories, I think, from the last year of like fan interactions, I went to, it was before COVID happened, but my girlfriend's best friend was having a wedding in Arizona at this resort, and they got a golf course there. And I had never met any of them before. And so I'm not nervous meeting anybody anymore, just because I've met people that have made me nervous. And once you get over that interaction, you're just like, all right, whatever. So I'm usually pretty good around new people. Let's go. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Pretty charismatic. And so I had no doubt that I wanted them to like me, because I care about Hailey a lot, and I wanted to make a good impression. So we walk up on the outside patio, and the bride and the groom, they were having lunch with Hailey's best friends and their parents. And so we're just sitting down, and I shit you not, in like the span of 30 minutes, I had 3 people come up to me to take a picture. One which worked there, one that just walked off the golf course, and one that like want to buy me a drink. Yeah. And it just was so much easier. Everyone was just like looking around like, what does he do again? Because I don't really know if they got the whole story or understood what I actually did. And it was that moment where I'm just like, all right, this is dope. Like, I'm just like, what's up? Yeah. It's Matt. How you doing? Don't call me NADESHOT.
Part of the interruption, but I got to tell you about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than DoorDash. DoorDash has been such a big supporter of the Hecz Quarters and the Eavesdrop Podcast. I got to tell you, I get excited every single time I see them in there. As a daily user myself, I obviously am excited to every single time that I get to promote something that I am a big fan of, as I am with DoorDash, right? Whether it's the amount of Zoom calls that I'm taking, the amount of phone calls and meetings that I have to go to, the editing, you name it, right? When we have the Hecz Quarters full of people that needs to be fed when we're doing content, guess who we call? We don't call anybody. We open up our DoorDash application and order anything from our favorite restaurants, our favorite local restaurants. Specifically in this day and age, we have to support our local restaurants, and this allows us to do that with contactless delivery, which means that they drop it off, you go outside, you pick it up, you wave at the driver, you say, thank you so much, I appreciate the hard work, tip them well, gosh darn it, why not? And grab your food, bring it upstairs, and tell Scump to stop, man, here's your food, just eat it, and let's get back to work. Okay, because DoorDash is the application that brings you food that you're craving right now, right to your door. Ordering is easy. You open the DoorDash application, choose what you want to eat, and your food will be left safely outside of your door with the new contactless delivery drop-off setting. Okay? With over 300,000 partners in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, mate, you can support your local go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, check, Wendy's, check, Cheesecake Factory, that Cajun pasta. I mean, come on, you can't even argue with me on that one. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off and 0 delivery fees on the first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash application and enter code Eavesdrop. That is code Eavesdrop, EAVESDROP. I don't know anybody that orders food that isn't more than $15. Okay, if you are, live life a little, enjoy it. Okay, that's $5 off your. That's $5 off your order and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash application in the App Store and enter code Eavesdrop. And I'm going to tell you again, one more time, in case you didn't hear me the first time, you get $5 off, 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash application and enter code EAVESDROP. Thank you so much, DoorDash. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Let's get back to my brother, NADESHOT.
But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, because whenever I meet a young kid now, I feel like they only know me by association to people that they know. Like if they've seen me in a video with Symphony or Ninja, Tim, exactly. But now Warzone's actually helped me out a lot, because Fortnite, I played for like the first 6 months, and I actually had some really good videos on there that popped off.
Yeah.
But these kids don't know who the fuck I am. I'm like old generation. But now on Warzone, I'm posting my clips again. I'm uploading YouTube videos, and it's been like kick back up, and more people are recognizing me again.
Yeah. What's crazy is that we had this. Who the fuck was I? I was just talking about this. There was a time where you and I would not be in the same area together at MLG events because I knew that you had to go do your thing, and if I had to walk through there. If you had to play, then I would go with you. That way I could be like, yo, you got to do fucking media in the back. And I would sit back and just talk to the fans. But Scump still to this day, like, just like everywhere he goes. Obviously, he's a redhead and fucking very recognizable.
Oh, dude.
So, like, he just gets fucking recognized everywhere that we go.
Yeah.
And
deservingly so.
Yeah. And I tell him, I'm like, dude, you know what's nuts about you and Nade is the fact that you guys have been doing this shit for like almost 10 years and you guys are still like mad relevant. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like at no point do you ever think of you and him are like, oh shit, yeah, they used to be mad big. You know what I mean? They're still like they're both. I tell Scump, I was talking to him. He's like, well, my stream doesn't do as good as it does. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking professional player.
Can you imagine if Seth
focused on one thing, right? Bro, it goes both ways.
I truly believe, and Seth is getting paid well, playing for the Huntsman, and he can still win tournaments, and he's capable of doing that, and it's a hard chapter to close in that book. And obviously, you probably don't want him to yet, or you might want him to do whatever you want. But I think if Seth would have like quit Call of Duty and went like full time on Fortnite and was a full time Warzone streamer, he'd be 5 times as big as he is now. I mean, he don't even give a fuck about his YouTube channel. He goes on like year-long hiatuses. I go on hiatuses, but not as long as he does.
Yeah.
And if he actually dude, he has like 6,000 concurrents while everybody else is streaming Warzone while he's playing scrims. Excuse me. He's not even talking to the chat.
Yeah.
He's not even trying.
Yeah.
If Seth applied himself and quit all this competing bullshit, bro, he would be, dude, get out, forget about it.
Yeah. I talk to him all the time, and obviously, like, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, I tell him all the time, like, whatever you want to do, I got your back. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, we're gonna be friends regardless. Like, that's just how it goes. But I tell him, I'm like, any single time that people rank him. Like when fucking Nameless, who's just on the podcast, you watch it, was really a really good one. When Nameless, when like all these news sources like talk about Seth and how he's not in some people's top 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and I think
people forget quickly.
No, the thing is like I know like psychologically they don't want to give him his props because they want to up other people. You know what I mean? And they want to say this guy's way better than this guy and this guy's. And look, Simp, fucking incredible fucking player. Right, like I think he's like insane, right? But when they sort of compare the two, I'm like you can't compare the two because
you're out of your mind. I mean, I can take this one because I know. I mean, I never played against him. Actually, no, that's a lie. I played against him in like S&D tournaments here and there.
And when he fucking left, you know what I'm saying?
He's been incredible for the last 3 years, and when everything's said and done, I bet Simp will go down as like a top 10 player. I don't watch and follow as closely as I used to. But people forget too quickly like how dominant Seth actually was, especially in 4v4. Now, obviously, we had a rough go of it in some tournaments, some years while we were teaming together. But Seth was unkillable in certain games. Like Modern Warfare 3, nobody was touching Seth. Black Ops 2, I mean, he was breaking hard points by himself. I mean, people got to give Seth the credit that he deserves. And even if there's like old school COD pros that aren't giving him like top 10 credit, they're fucking tripping.
Oh, they're
and that's not even because I love Seth.
Same.
It's because I played with him and I saw what he used to do.
Objectively,
Seth's an all-time great.
Yeah, objectively, when I see him being ranked like as a not, I'm like he's dividing his focus into two different things, and he's still shitting on young fucking people that are up and comers. You know what I mean? Like if he focused just on being a professional Call of Duty player, you don't think that if he didn't stream and he didn't have to stream and he didn't have to be entertaining and all he did was look at a screen and call out, not fucking look over at the shit. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for this. Like, you don't think that he'd be way better than he is right now?
I don't think that has much to. I get that. I just don't think he cares as much
about what
winning.
No, he does.
Well, I know he wants to win.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, though, when you're young and hungry and you haven't
made it?
I mean, he's won a world championship. He's won 2 gold medals. He's won MLG events. Like, bro, people don't remember. Like, people weren't following. They weren't around in, like, Black Ops 1 and all these old school generation Call of Duty games. If you don't have Scump in your top 10, you're out of your fucking mind.
And
if I competed against you or you came from the first generation of Call of Duty players, you don't have Seth in your top 10, you're a fucking hater.
100%.
Like I understand it's like people, people ranking these new players. Like I hear Shotzi's really good. I've never seen him play.
He's really good.
I see people talk about Sim. I don't even know other players that they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have Seth in your top 10, you're just playing out.
Yeah, I think they don't though. I've seen lists where he's not even like in the top 10.
Well, I want to know who.
Well, I mean, it's easily you can find it easily, but it's.
Well,
I don't
you got any names on the top of your head?
No
players that I would know that didn't have him in his top 10.
Yeah, I think nameless. Fucking who else? There's anyway. I don't give a fuck.
And some people say this shit just to be controversial. Too.
Yeah. No,
like nameless. I like Ant a lot.
Yeah, same.
But he's trying to be like the Stephen A. Smith or like. No, I mean it's true.
Yeah.
I mean all these takes that he would give on broadcast, so people would get mad about him.
Yeah.
I mean, Ant's not a stupid person. There's no way he's not saying this shit so that it generates more controversy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what like that First Take show is. It was Stephen A. Smith and what's his fucking name? They were on a show together at first, and then one went to like Fox Sports.
What's his name? Fucking Rick Bayless.
Yeah, Rick Bayless says all this wild shit, and that's why they're making so much money.
Yeah, I don't even know where I got that name from. I never watched a single show.
Yeah,
but you just know. Anyway, so I always go back to the fact that I'm like, you guys have been like stayed at the top. Like you just fucking hit 26,000 subs, and you're not a fucking like consistent
21,000.
Well, whatever. Fuck, man. What's the difference at that point?
Hey man, I'm grateful. You know what? Every single time that I take a break from YouTube or I'm not uploading as much, I wouldn't even consider the breaks that I took in the last 2 or 3 years since 100 Thieves started as breaks.
Yeah,
it's just a different workflow, like a different responsibilities that I have, and I miss uploading to YouTube consistently. And I'm sure everyone at the company would love if I uploaded more, but it's just my life is different, right? Because in the first 2 years, it was kind of like split responsibilities where. My life before every single day, the goal was to get a new video out and go and do something fun for that video. But at the beginning of the company, there was like an expectation from some people that I should be in the office every single day, helping build the business. Mm-hmm. And so it just became difficult to balance. And I think we've now found a comfortable spot where I can work on the things that I think are really fun and really cool. And there's a level of trust that, some days I might not be working and some days I might take off during the week. But when I'm getting the shit done that needs to get done, even if it's a lot of fun for me, it's still, helping build this community of 100 Thieves and build this business and sell apparel and generate views. I'm doing my shit.
So when we first did the podcast 2 years ago, almost October, I asked you, had your life changed now that you're the CEO of an organization? You're like, are you kidding me? It changed me to my core.
Yeah.
Like everything about you had changed, right? You'd be going into the office at 9 o'clock. You were always there, and then you were doing the same. This was before you guys even got the compound.
Yeah.
Has from a business perspective, as a businessman, because you're not just a businessman, you're a businessman. have you like fallen in like super love with like the business aspect of it, the entrepreneur like aspect of it?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, there's something to be said about working for your equity, and it's like short-term value versus long-term value, right? Where every single day I was just trying to maximize how much money I could make in a day, where now I'm trying to maximize how much attention and how much I can generate for 100 Thieves. So I would say from an entrepreneur standpoint, I've definitely fallen in love with aspects of it. I mean, there's certain things that I miss, the freedom that I had as an individual. I even talk about that on stream, but I really love what we're doing at 100 Thieves. There's times where I'm frustrated because I can't touch every part of the business, and there are parts of the business that I shouldn't be touching anyways because it's not my expertise, right? But I think everything funnels back to me at some point.
If you can talk about it.
Just like operational stuff. Like I don't want to be a manager. Like I don't want to manage people, right? Because I think I do my best work when people can compliment me and help me succeed at the things that I want to do. Whereas people like John, who's my partner and COO of 100 Thieves and president, he's really good at, building careers for other individuals and helping them find growth in their own career and their own life. Well, I can't do that, dude. It's just not.
What you do though for influencers?
No, I do. I mean, I do to a certain extent. I just mean from like a day to day. We have over like 40 employees at the company. Like I'm not going to be the one that's managing and telling them what to do every day, right? I don't know. I really enjoy what I do. I mean, the same sentiment, whatever I said in 2018 is probably the same now. And the great thing that I have right now is a lot of resources at my disposal, right? So I think like the next goal for me is starting up like a sports centered media arm of 100 Thieves, right? And it's all going to stem from golf. Like it's going to start with golf. I have some plans, and I keep talking about them. I've been talking about them for months now. Like I want to make course vlogs and a bunch of different golf content because I feel like that has been my first passion besides 100 Thieves post competing. Yeah. Right? Because I loved Call of Duty for a long time and it was what I did. And I've fallen back in love with it with Warzone, but it's not what I want to do every single day. Golf is something that I love to do every single day, no matter what the situation is. So it naturally, I have all of this foundation that we've built with 100 Thieves, and we have like a 15-person production team. Yeah. There's no reason why I shouldn't start something that I love again within 100 Thieves. So 100 Thieves gives me an opportunity to really express my creativity and the things that I want to do. So I really do love it. And I love the people that I work with too. Yeah. Sometimes I need to be by myself and I want to be around people, but most days it's great seeing everyone and I feel like empowered to go and do more.
Yeah, I think, well, one, I think that's a great fucking thing that you're doing. Obviously, when you focus on one thing too much, you sort of fall out of love with it. And the only way to miss something is to step away from it, which is why I think that you've been so good at it, right? Which is why I think that you can step away from something and then come back and just be as passionate about it. And it translates and people just fall back in the old feelings as to why they watch you. So you being passionate about golf and wanted to start that sort of business around there, I think it's like a genius move if you're able to pull it off the right way. What is there not to pull off? It's a vlog centered around something that you love already. Yeah. You get good characters around you. Like, I think Rich or Shibby would be fucking perfect. I said earlier that the Spence would be funny too.
The thing about golf content is that if you go on YouTube, and I love the guys at GM Golf. They're great. They're one of the few groups or few people that are doing it right. I really like Rick Shields. And other than that, I don't really follow anybody else because a lot of golf content is just instructional and tutorials and how to get better at golf. Yeah. And even the guys at Barstool do it pretty well. Foreplay, I like them a lot too. And I feel like those three people that I just listed, it's a good combination of watching like pretty good golfers and some personality, and they have fun with it. Whereas I really believe I'm not the best golfer in the world. I'm like, for anybody that plays golf, I'm a 12 handicap, 12.5. Yeah. But I'm trying to get better every single day. But I feel like there needs to be more fun in the videos while you're golfing, right? Where the GM Golf guys, they are really good at golf, and their personalities shine through from time to time. But I'm not going to be them, right? I'm not going to be going out there and shooting like mid 70s and just, basically playing par golf, which is really almost being scratch. They probably are scratch. I want to have more
whatever
fun.
That means.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I want to just have more fun in the course. And obviously you're going to see technical aspects of golf in there because my buddy Rich is really good at golf. Mm-hmm. But I just want to have more fun on the course because that's what every guy goes and does. Yeah. You go out on the course, maybe to get away from your life for a little bit. You get away from your wife, get away from your life, drink some beers, and have some fun in playing this beautiful game. Yeah. And that's what I want to do. And I think it could do really well. I just got to go and do it. I just keep talking about it, and I haven't been doing it. Yeah. Is there something that's holding you back from doing it, or? No, I would say other responsibilities, 100 Thieves, right? Because during COVID, I've like felt a responsibility to stream every single day, and I enjoy it. Like you said, I was killing it in subs, and I took some time off. Not time off. I just wasn't streaming as much every single day. Yeah. So it's like every single week I got to do a Content House video. I got to do a podcast. I have phone calls I got to be a part of and talk about the broader strategy of 100 Thieves. We're working on apparel. We're doing a bunch of different things. So it's really just having my priorities straight. We're working on, I'm probably going to hire an executive assistant to help me with my schedule and my calendar so I can stay on task more efficiently. And it's really trying to balance. When you think about it, I've got my main YouTube channel, which hasn't been getting uploaded to very often, which needs to change. I've got my second channel, which I have a great editor that's been helping me. I'm streaming like 6 hours a day. Then I have to take care of everything else regarding 100 Thieves. We're doing like photo shoots, like I said, podcasts,
I got videos. In here.
Yeah. And it's finding time to do something different while juggling all of that, which has been really daunting for me. And when I have a lot of things to do, I procrastinate because I'm overwhelmed by the thought of getting it done.
Yeah, I do think that you're not utilizing your brand enough, like outside of this gaming shit. You know what I mean? I think like you're like in the prime position to where I'm jealous of like what you could be fucking doing, because it's just like massive shit that you just like can do, but time just doesn't allow for shit to happen a certain way. You know what I mean? Like I'll always put my money on you and Seth, obviously, because you guys are like my boys and shit. But there is like just not a lot of people. I mean, if you think about everybody that grew up when we grew up, essentially on YouTube, like not, a lot of people have moved on, and not for any other reason besides the fact that they just get burnt out, and that's like an actual thing. For me, like my vlog right now is like sort of fun. But at the same time, I'm just like, I did it for so fucking long. And to continue to do that, like, I just want to do it when I feel like I got to pick up the camera and do it. And like me editing it again gave me that sense of old school back. And that's why I liked it. But then Maddie's fucking bored just editing one podcast a week, plus all the Huntsman shit. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with my channel. You know what I mean? Like, I love doing the podcast, but quarantine has sort of put a damper on things. And as far as like a cooking show with my brother, or as far as like, you know, taco tasting with my brother, like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I always have to go through as a creative person, because I don't want to do a vlog and somebody says like, yo, that's the best vlog you've ever done, if he fucking touched it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't take full credit for that, and I hate that.
Yeah. No, and I totally understand that. But that's what being a creative is all about, right? I mean, when you think of the people that are most creative, or that we would look at from the outside in that are most creative, it's like artists. I mean, people in music, they spend years just making one single album. Yeah. And I think that's the tough thing about YouTube and creators in this space, and the reason why they get burnt out. And we talk about it a lot, but you make one video today and you're really excited about it. You spend a ton of time editing it. You're really proud of it. You get it uploaded. It's got maybe like a 48-hour to 72-hour window where people will appreciate it, but you can't even bask in that because you're already thinking about the next day and what's next. Yeah. And so I think that's why I've loved 100 Thieves so much, because it gives me time in the background to work on something that will yield results in the future. Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, you make a daily vlog for so long, you're not even excited about what you're doing because you think, well, I've done this a million times already, and it's not satisfying. It's not scratching that itch that I have. And I think that's why a lot of people have left YouTube or have gone on to work on different business ventures, because it's just not healthy at a certain point. And there's a lot of people on YouTube that are really successful that make a ton of videos, get a lot of views, and they make a lot of money. But I can guarantee you at least like 75% of those people are only doing it because they're making so much money. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at like Sky Does Minecraft, I think is a perfect example for this, where he was like the king of Minecraft. Yeah, he was the king of YouTube. He was, oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, definitely like one of the all-time most successful in that era. And he was just fucking done at a certain point. He just had to quit. He quit everything, right? And he took a couple years off, tried the music thing. I know he had a bunch of stuff going on in his personal life, and I don't know the whole story. Yeah. But now, like, if you go back and look at Sky Does Minecraft, he's trying to make videos again because, you know, sometimes it really is just a break that you need. And whether that's 1 year, 1 month, a couple weeks, or 5 years, at a certain point, it's like, oh, shit, I had a really big platform. I got to get back to this. Yeah. So it's not there's a lot of things that are easy about it. There's a lot of things that aren't. There's a lot of people that don't see what they don't see from the outside. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting industry that we work in. Yeah. I love it, obviously. Like I do, but I do feel sometimes like a vlog specifically. Everything else, like I don't mind. I do every so often. The Googans they get together once a month, and then one weekend and they film videos that whole weekend as programming for the rest of it. I love being a part of those videos because it's like not my audience at all, and I get to be just me without the shroud of you got to be fucking professional or this, that, and the other. Not that I'm super professional, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And I just get to be me. You know what I mean? I love fucking being in those videos because one, I like fishing, but two, I like interacting with other content creators that didn't grow up with me in a sense, and that to me is like super super fucking fire. And from a streamer's perspective, like I'm not good enough to fucking have an entertaining show. You know what I mean? Like
I like to stream when Hutch is streaming because I get to still be a part of a show in a sense, but I'm not the main character, and it doesn't solely rely on that. I don't play Call of Duty enough to be, putting up the numbers that I need to be putting, but I do have a ton of fun fucking playing it. I have a ton of fun fucking bantering with fucking Hutch and Diesel. I love doing that shit. Yeah. But for me to be the main protagonist of that show, not for me. Yeah. Minecraft, different story. I'll always play that shit nonstop, and it'll be like my love, period.
Yeah. I think that's why I've gotten really into Warzone lately. Bro, there was like a moment that happened like 2 weeks ago, and it kind of charged me up. Like I feel like I'm catching the itch again.
Yeah.
From like a competitive standpoint. Now, obviously, I can't stream the number of hours that Symphony does, right? He's in the basement every morning at 4 o'clock, streaming 8 hours a day, sometimes longer, and he's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And he was having a conversation, I think, with Huskers about who they should team with for this next Warzone tournament. They needed to find somebody, and they asked Cloak, and he couldn't, or I forget the exact situation. And my entire chat's like, "Why don't you play with them? You play with them. You play with them." So I mute my mic. I'm like, "Hey, just so y'all know, first of all, I know Symphony and Huskers. They have won tournaments before. They're really good. And if they don't ask me, I'm not going to ask them. Yeah. Like if they're playing with me right now, having this conversation in front of me, it's clearly because they don't think I'm good enough to play with them." And that shit, I think, really motivated me because I know I'm a good Warzone player, and I enjoy streaming it, which is the best part, and which is why I brought it up. Because now, after playing a few tournaments and seeing like what it takes to actually win, I'm not going to claim that I'm the best Warzone player. And there's a lot of these kids that play wagers all day, and it kind of reminds me of like the S&D community, right? Because pro players would scrim all day, and they were considered the best players from what people saw. But there were some really talented S&D kids that just grinded, and that's all they did, and that's why they were so good at it. And that Warzone has the same thing. It's like you have this genre of player that they're not in the CDL, but they're really fucking good. So it's always going to be tough to play against those guys just because they spend so many hours doing this, and I don't.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I spend my time wisely enough, I could be really, really good. Like take it to the next level of Warzone.
Yeah.
So I want to start playing more of these tournaments. And the best part of it is I get to stream.
Keyboard or controller?
No, I went to controller.
You went back to controller?
My KD went up like 1.75 when I switched back. And I thought I was pretty good at keyboard and mouse. Yeah. Not as good as Symphony and Huskers though. And so controller just changed. It's really just a movement thing. I mean, you can aim just fine on keyboard and mouse. But the other thing is it's the close range gunfights that fuck you up. Close to mid range. Yeah. Because if this tripod in front of me was somebody that I need to shoot in Warzone, with aim assist and a controller, I've done it my whole life. That's a kill. Yeah. 10 out of 10 times. Yeah. But on PC with a keyboard and mouse, I might miss a shot or two, and you don't realize how substantial that is. And that one bullet or two that you miss against a good player, you're going to die. Yeah. So I had to go back to controller. Yeah. I'm cracked now. Yeah. So speaking of Warzone keyboard players and that, there's obviously a rumor that Call of Duty might be going back to 4v4. That's who knows, right? Like they don't even tell us, right? Or they haven't told us whether it is or it isn't. Do you think that there is going to be a time in which crossplay is a thing? Could it be viable? I don't know if I just answer this one.
Why?
Well, I signed like NDAs in the process of talking about the Call of Duty League. Do I think it could be viable? I mean, yeah. I don't know how it would play out though, right? Because I think controller players, from an aim assist perspective, you even seen it in Fortnite, where PC players claim that aim assist was so strong on Fortnite that it had to be nerfed, and you couldn't even compete. Mm-hmm. Like controller players were just going to win. I think when you go back and look at like the genesis of competitive Call of Duty, it started with Pro Mod. And I mean, some of the things that these guys would do, and in Warzone is a great example now, some of these PC players, what they can do is absolutely ridiculous. Insane, yeah. So I think it would be viable. I just have a hard time really honing in on who would be better.
Me too.
I think the controller players would still come out on top.
I do too. A lot of people say, obviously, look, from an aim perspective, like nobody's talking trash about the ability for some PC player to aim better than some pros that play on a controller. But it isn't going to be as easy as just like jumping in and doing, like it's a whole process, right? Like a respawn, for example, to learn where to throw a nade to block the spawn, to know where the next spawn is coming. Like that's not something that people like necessarily do. If you think about what sort of shooters are there besides Overwatch, what other shooters out there that have like a respawn game mode?
No, but good players will learn that really quickly. I mean, you don't have to be the brightest star in the sky to figure out spawns. Like that just comes with playing. What I think it comes down to is Call of Duty, competitive Call of Duty, does not take these snapshot reactions, right? Like that, I think general players, that hop on for a couple hours after work, and people talk to me like, hey, what sensitivity you play on? Just people that are friends and trying to figure out, well, how do you do this? How do you play as well as you do? And they're all playing on these fast-ass sensitivities, right? Yeah. I mean, even like snipers back in the day for like that were making montages, they're playing like 10-10, maxed out. I would argue 16. That 85% of the pro players are on like 5.5 or 6.6 or below. Yeah. Like you don't need a fast sensitivity to be good at Call of Duty. Yeah. It's really about, like you said, understanding spawns, knowing where players can be and when they're going to be, and understanding tendencies. And you don't need these snapshot reactions. So from a competitive standpoint, on these small maps, I mean, aiming comes down to fractions of seconds, but the best players, I think it's like 75%. No, I would say it's like 50% aim and then 50% of just awareness, just awareness on the map. So even if you are on PC, it's really just going to come down to how smart of a player you are. Yeah, because everyone can aim.
Yeah, and I think obviously when you're a streamer,
you're fucking me apparently.
What? No, you don't play enough. That's what I keep telling myself. I don't play enough. That's why I lost that gunfight. You know what I mean? Like the only reason Hutch is getting more kills is because he's on every single fucking day, shooting more than I am. If I get my reps in, if I play at least even fucking 4 hours a day, Hutch is going back to where he belongs. Follow me, Hutch. I'm not following you no more. Hold this pocket, my dude.
Hold my pocket.
Dr. Disrespect comes back after a long 1 month hiatus and streams to 500,000 people on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that sort of and yeah, granted, there's like a lot of how do you call it? A lot of missing information.
Yeah, it's drama. It's mystery.
Yeah, mystery. Yeah, it's mysterious, right? Like he all of a sudden he's banned from Twitch, and when that first happened, and everybody just fucking immediately started going to the negative, right? Like as to what could have happened. This, I'm not even gonna text the dude. I know this dude since fucking 2009. Like I think we have a pretty good relationship. You know what I mean? Outside of the game, even. I just couldn't text him. I couldn't text him to check in on him. I couldn't check because I was just like, man, he's going through his own shit. I'm not gonna get involved in that. One, it's none of my business. Like we're friends and shit, but business is like business, and I'm not gonna do this shit. But the fact that he comes back to 500,000 people on a platform that he hasn't been streaming on, it really shows the power of what YouTube is going to be. I always have YouTube as the game winner. Twitch will always be there. Twitch is always going to be the channel there, the way that Fox Sports is there, the way that ESPN is there. There's like room for everybody to be. But I think YouTube will always and forever have the whole.
YouTube's massive, dude. I mean, Twitch is great for what it is, but YouTube is. I mean, shout out to my boy Fwiz.
He did it. He invented YouTube.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, Dr. Disrespect, like his production and his creativity around streaming is second to none. I mean, it's the best in the business.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I mean, this is what happens. I mean, drama and mystery drives engagement. It drives interest. It's like every single time somebody's been banned from Twitch, it's come back bigger. Tfue got banned for like a couple weeks or a month or whatever it was, came back and was the size of Ninja. You had Dr. Disrespect go through similar things for filming in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Comes back bigger. I mean, the mystery behind why Dr. Disrespect was banned going to YouTube fueled a ton of this interest and this need for more information. I texted Doc. I consider Doc to be a friend as well. And I'm a fan of him on and off camera.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, I just think that there's no way that him and his team don't know why he was banned. I think that's cap.
You think?
Cap. Has to be. It has to be. I mean, there's absolutely no way. It has to be a legal matter that only employees of Twitch that are handling it and their lawyers can talk about with Dr. Disrespect's legal counsel and team.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense. You can't just get banned after signing a multi-million-dollar contract with no explanation.
Yeah.
It has to be a legal issue.
I don't know. It's to me it's one of those things where I don't think we'll ever find out. I think it's gone beyond that.
We'll find out one day.
You think?
Absolutely.
Everything gets found out?
When everything's finally settled, I don't know if it's going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, years from now. We're going to find out eventually. Yeah. And I don't know how we're going to find out, but we will. There's no way. It just can't happen.
Is it because there's the internet and everything gets found out, or why?
No, I just think I think it's a legal issue that has implications that nobody can speak about it until everything has been settled. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
That's what I truly think.
I don't know. I'm in that point where I'm just like, man, who fucking knows? Like, imagine if we would have taken every single advantage from the beginning, like us, from the beginning, and just like over dramatized everything. Like we did a really good job of not being the fucking clickbait kings, which we could have.
Yeah, but clickbait didn't get big on YouTube until like 2014, 2015. When it's like the same thing with talking about money or buying cars on YouTube. That shit used to be cliche. People get really upset about it, but the culture changed.
Yeah.
And then everybody saw the views that people were getting from clickbaiting, and it finally started like, if you're not clickbaiting, you're not doing well on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I mean, with all the shit that we went through with like me and Seth and the different iterations of the OpTic House and Joey, us replacing him with JCap and everybody coming in and out of the house.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we could have cashed out.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we knew, we were maximizing.
We knew like we knew that this could have, like, we could have done a lot there. Like we knew that if we talked about it, or if we were a little bit more transparent, or if we would, I was just always afraid of what would happen to the other person. You know what I mean? Like if we talked about just like shit that you know what I mean? Like being transparent is good, but sometimes like just going all out and saying like everything, like it's not just damaging in certain scenarios for the org, but also for like the specific individual.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And on top of that, I feel like audiences hold people that are a part of esports organizations to a higher standard.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that at 100 Thieves, where I get judged at a certain level because we are an esports organization.
Yeah.
And that has its pros and cons.
That's why I'm not as funny as I can be.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
nah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's tough, dude. There's a lot of yellow tape.
Yeah, the thing is, like, obviously I wouldn't change who I am for anything, right? Like I don't even mind like toning it down for the camera. I don't mind not, being me the way that I want to be. It does get to you. Like losing sleep to me is like the true definition of success. Being able to fall asleep peacefully, and I even told Jude, I'm like, listen, if there's something going on in our personal lives, not just between me and her, but just like family stuff or friends, like real life friends. I'm just like, please don't tell me if I'm in the bedroom. If I'm in the bedroom, like it's there's no time to be talking. Well, if I'm in my PJs, if I'm sunk in watching TV, the last thing I want is for any sort of stress or work or anything to come into my life and just like be that. I have my phone on do not disturb, but then I have like everybody. I have you, Seth, and all my people on my favorites, so those calls come in. So if at 3 a.m. in the morning, fucking somebody's in jail and I have to get them out because they were too drunk or whatever, then I have that ability to go do that. But that's the only time. You know what I mean? Like that's the only time I do that, and it does suck to be in the middle of fucking drama.
Dude, I don't know how some people do it, man. Like I just can't do it. I just have so much inner peace knowing that for the most part, nobody's mad at me.
Yeah.
Like there's something to be said about just being neutral ground, just getting to live your life and not having a bunch of people on the internet mad at you.
Yeah.
I just can't do I don't want to deal with it.
I did it when the first you and Nick thing happened. Like in my podcast, I'm like, look, I kind of know what happened. Obviously, we never talked about it in detail, but I kind of know what happened because it sort of happened with you and me, right? With the whatever. And I was just like, I'm like, I understand what Nation's coming from. Like, I'm like, if I had to pick a side, I'd pick his side. And then he hit me up and he's like, yo, what's up with that? Like, blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I shouldn't have said that. And I'm like, man, that sucks that I said that. Right. The same thing when the whole Infinite thing was happening and everybody was shitting on me because of the Halo thing and everybody was shitting on me because of the decisions. I was just like, I could have defended myself, but I knew what would happen. You know what I mean? I knew what would happen to the people that were ultimately making me lose face with the people that had trusted me for so many fucking years. And I knew that it'd be really easy for me to be like, it's not my fault. This is what's happening. Yeah. But me saying that would be admitting something that I never wanted to admit, that I had lost control of the thing that I fucking love.
Yeah.
And that to me was like the most painful thing that I had to go through. And that drama for that fucking that 6 months like really fucking fucked with me, like mentally, physically, just from a stress standpoint. I'm really good at fucking, like, if something's bad, like I bottle it up, put it in a certain thing, and that's what it is. I was really fucking good at that until the fucking OpTic thing happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just like, I would go to sleep thinking about it, and when I would wake up is the first thing that pops in my head. If I wake up thinking about something bad that's happening in my life, like, I know that I'm not living a good life, and I don't want to fucking do that.
It's the worst.
Yeah, and I did that for fucking 8 months.
I don't know. Yeah, I remember talking to you how stressed out you were about all of it, and like how much was going on, and I felt for you because it's like everything was going so well for me with 100 Thieves, and you had to deal with that stress. It's just fucking annoying. I don't know how drama channels do it, man. I don't, like, it's just tough, dude. Like, when people have internet beef, man, like, bro, I can't even do it.
Yeah. I don't know. Even in like small situations, it's not even fucking worth it. Like, at the end of the day, it's not even fucking worth it.
Bro, it is not. I mean, unless you don't, like, if you don't have any regard for your reputation, what people think about you,
yeah,
then, hey, fuck it. Throw caution in the wind. Like, who cares? But for me, it's like, I represent an organization. We have a ton of sponsors. We have employees that are building a career here. Like, there's so much on the line. We have tens of millions of dollars from investors.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be on my best behavior in most situations because it's not just me that I'm worrying about now. It's everything else that has been built over the last 3 years could come crumbling down if I make the wrong move or misstep in any way. And so, dude, even like, of course, when I'm scrolling my timeline and someone says something to me, like I want to tell that person my side, and I want to explain things that have happened or how things transpired, just so that someone can sit there and then make a decision. But I don't even small things, like, I just won't address it. There's no point. There's no point.
Like the KSI and like Logan Paul, like, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real. I think it's real. I think
it has to be real.
Yeah, but they're both smart businessmen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're good for each other, which is why it's good to sort of.
I think the beef between KSI and Jake Paul is actually very real.
Yeah.
But I think Logan, you know what? I told a lot of people that Mike and Logan Paul invited me to come on their podcast, which I'm going to do Impulsive.
Yeah.
And people in my chat were like, L. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Mike and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I think Logan Paul made a mistake, and I think he was actually remorseful of that mistake. When a lot of people think, like, well, why did he do it in the first place? Well, it was a lapse of judgment, a terrible lapse of judgment at that. Yeah. But I'm actually a really big fan of Logan Paul. I think he's really funny, really smart, and really creative. Agreed. And you don't get that big on YouTube without having a special type of talent. And so I was honored when Mike was like DMing me, like, hey, man, we got to get you on Impulsive. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So in that sense, I think Logan and KSI, it leads me to believe that I think the beef itself, it was true to a certain extent. And then they realized, and maybe that's what it was in my mind, they realized like how beneficial it was for both of them. Mm-hmm. And it helped a lot. But like the things that I see KSI and Logan Paul like go back and forth chirping at each other, I feel like that shit's real. Mm-hmm. But Logan just seems like too smart and too nice of a guy. And KSI I've known since day fucking one. Yeah. Like, props to him, kudos to him, like how successful he's become.
Insane.
Anything he touches just turns to gold.
Yeah.
And so with them two together, with building up both those fights and the money that they made from it, there's no way in my mind that they weren't messaging each other in some regard. Yeah. Talking about shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's sort of when you have that fan base, when you have that big of a fan base on both sides, it's got to be like even more pressure, right? Because it's not like there's like a couple of fucking people, like millions of people are just shit talking you because they are on the Jake Paul side, or they're in the KSI fight side. It's just insane. The one thing for sure is that they like KSI will go down as like one of the most influential people in all of YouTube. You know what I mean? Selling out soccer arenas to play, just putting together
Mount Rushmore of YouTube.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It's insane.
Yeah,
it is fucking crazy. Now that he's doing the rap thing, I heard one like Lamborghini when it first came out. You know what I mean? But aside from that, I don't really listen to anything else. But I fuck with the fact that he didn't say I'm a FIFA streamer or I'm a FIFA gamer.
Yeah.
And then just went on and created businesses just off of his brand, which to me is fucking insane. We're writing history every single day as we go through this YouTube sort of thing that we're doing. You look at new media and you look at the Barstool versus the Call Her Daddy podcast and shit like that. Like this, they will write about this thing forever once everything's all said and done. I don't know if we'll ever find out like where they ended up with the settlement or not, but it goes to show that like everything that we do now will sort of have this ripple effect throughout the history of mankind from now on.
Dave Portnoy is a genius.
Huh?
Dave Portnoy is a fucking genius, dude.
Yeah, he is. The fact that he was talking about it. Oh, but the fact that he went on their podcast.
Dave Portnoy is the best and biggest asshole I've ever seen. Like, what a fucking guy, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like Dave Portnoy. I fucking love Dave Portnoy because there's not a situation where he doesn't tell it like it is. And every time it works out in his favor. Like, Barstool, I love everybody at Barstool, dude.
Yeah, same.
I'm a big fan of Barstool.
So am I.
Dude, Dave Portnoy roasted me on Twitter.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, bro, because I tweeted out that Cheez-Its are like the worst snack in existence. The truth was, I have never eaten a Cheez-It. The hand of God on my mother's soul. Yeah. I have never had a Cheez-It in my entire life. And I was only putting out the tweet to Russell, my girlfriend's Jimmy's, razz her a little bit because she loves Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
And so the next day, I'm getting my Twitter is lighting up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I open my phone. Dave Portnoy quote tweeted it and said, "You seem like a successful guy. So, yada, yada, yada. But you're also a fucking moron. Cheez-Its are the best thing ever. You fucking imbecile, you stupid idiot."
God damn.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
You could probably pull it up and put it on the screen. So then I was trying to be funny, dude. I'm like, all right, I've got Dave Portnoy's attention. How do I get him to follow me and how do I have an interaction with him?
Yeah.
So I thought what I did was actually really funny because I watch all of his pizza reviews and I had his pizza app on my phone and it basically goes through all the pizza places in your area and it's like an aggregate, like kind of like Yelp for pizza. And then if Dave has reviewed it, you'll see it on the app. And so I changed my background of my phone to like Dave Portnoy's photo and sent him like a screen recording of my iPhone of me deleting the app from my phone. And then the subtlety of it was like Dave is like my screen background.
Yeah.
And
that's genius.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I missed it.
Yeah, it got some good traction, but nothing ever came from it. But I love Dave Portnoy.
I like it too. I like the Barstool. Everything the Barstool's doing is really good. The other people that did it before them that did it successfully and they're still doing it successfully to this day is Complex. Complex
is great.
Yeah, Complex I think obviously came before them to the level that they're doing it right now, obviously. But and they did it so fucking right. They did it perfectly. I always look at them and as a sort of North Star. Maybe because I'm a hip hop head and like that's always been my thing. And everything that they do is like interesting to me, and that's the people that I started following from the beginning. And I saw how they diversified into different things. That the documentaries they did on shoes, like it was just like Blueprint, for example. Like Blueprint is one of my favorite YouTube shows that has ever been created. They do interviews with Kith, what's his name? Fucking Ronnie Fig, right? Like they did an interview with him, and I was just like mind blown. They did an interview with Cause. They did like Architect. Like they do it fucking right.
Complex is great. My only like note on Complex, because it sounds like you have a deeper understanding of their business, because I only follow like when they tweet something out. They should have never let academics and Joe Budden separate. It should have never happened. Yeah. And I still don't know the whole story, but I think Joe Budden just couldn't stand academics. Yeah. Like, didn't want to be associated with them, which I understand if you're Joe Budden, who had a successful stint in rap and whatever. But I've never seen Complex get more attention than academics and Joe Budden getting after it, going against each other every single episode. because I haven't watched that fucking show one time since
they broke up. Really?
Joe Budden has left. I haven't watched it once, and I used to watch the snippets. I used to watch it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And you know, people have split opinions on academics. Every interaction I've had with him and messages and stuff, I don't really watch his content anymore, but it's always been positive. So I don't have a negative thing to say about either of them. But that duo should have never got split up. If I were Joe Budden, man, I would have just like. But a lot of thing about like the rap community, hip hop community is all about credibility and your reputation and who you are as a man or a woman and what you stand for. And so I can totally understand if Joe Budden was like, this shit is whack, I'm out, I'm not going to associate with this guy. I get that. But man, if you didn't have that pride, bro, that shit, it was every single episode. That's what the internet was talking about.
Yeah. No, they did it right. You know what's crazy is that social media has sort of ruined a lot of the mystics behind some of my favorite rappers of all time. I made the mistake of following some of the like all of Wu-Tang essentially, but some of the shit they post, I'm just like, man, I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sucks because I hold them in the regard, the highest regard you can, like every single Wu-Tang member. So when I see Raekwon posting a fucking selfie, I'm just like, all right, fuck it, man. Just run. Like my first instinct's like, ooh, don't do the two hand fucking picture. But at the same time, I'm like, that's the fucking chef. Shut the fuck up.
I see. That example is even better than I was going to say. What I was going to bring up to that point was the mystery and the mystique behind actors and actresses. Mm-hmm. Because back in the day, like in Hollywood, you didn't want nobody to see you in public. Yeah. Like you didn't want tabloids picking you up. I mean, before even the internet existed, and then when social media started, a lot of actors that do it right, like Kevin Hart and The Rock and Chris Pratt, they do social media pretty well.
Incredible, yeah.
And that's why they're even more successful now. Yeah. But back in the day, I mean, you wanted to be able to embody every role that you were a part of. And that's what was so cool and what the success and the stories behind these actors and actresses, because you'd only see them once every year or two in this movie, and you would love it. Like fans would just go nuts over it. And now everything's so accessible, you're hurting yourself now if you're not on social media in some ways. Yeah. But with that example, that's even better, bro. Can you imagine listening to like the hardest fucking rap album, hip hop of your life, and then 20 years later, I don't want to taking a 2-hand selfie?
Dude, I don't want to know what Tupac would be in a fucking social media realm. I don't want to know what Biggie would be in a social media realm. I'm glad that Jay-Z doesn't have a fucking Instagram, or he does, but his people manage it. Yeah. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like the same thing where I don't want to meet my heroes. Or you're the same that says never meet your heroes. I have that thing. Like I don't ever want to meet Casey Neistat. I don't ever want to meet the RZA. I don't ever want to meet Michael Jordan. And I don't ever want to meet Brad Pitt. Who's the fifth one? There's a fifth one. Ricky Gervais. I don't ever want to meet any of them. I want them to become. I want them to still be this like mythical person that I never want to meet. I just don't want to have any bad interaction with them at all, because I don't want that to be a clouding
that image of them in your head. Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? Because if I go fucking talk to Michael Jordan's like mean to me or some shit, like get the fuck out of here. Or
when Shaq punked you.
Yeah, like that, for example, which is one of the craziest thing, because if you like, now he's a business partner of mine. We're co-owners in Energy. He handed me the fucking esports team of the year.
Yeah, I was salty about that one. That was when you and I were having our beef.
Yeah, and I just talked about that in a podcast.
You guys were on stage accepting the award. I'm like, man, I played half this year. I'm not up there right now.
Yeah, you fucking left me, broke my heart.
We ain't gonna get into that.
No, we're not. But I did talk about it. Recently.
What'd you say? And I gotta go hear it.
No, I pretty much said that. I'm like, that if I was talking about feelings, it was a Q&A. And I was talking about how, as growing up in the culture that I did, I'm not allowed to have feelings, and I bottle everything in. And because of that, you and I didn't speak for a year. When it would have been the right thing for me would have been to reach out and be like, "Yo, let's fucking talk."
I wrote Hector a letter.
Yeah, I read it in a fucking meeting.
I was drunk one night, and I was in my feelings, and I'm like, "Oh, I miss Hector. Why did all this happen?" So it was like 2 a.m. and I was lit, and I was like, I just wrote it all down. Because I had this, it had been, baking in my mind for over a year. I'm like, dude, I just got to say something, because regardless of what happened, I obviously wanted you to still be in my life and be friends, because you're one of my best friends and helped me a ton. and I just had to send you a letter. I wrote everything down. I'm like, this is the only way I'm gonna be able to get everything out. So I hear you.
Yeah, you were a better man than I was, and I will never be like that again. But I remember thinking about it. I'm like, as I was being more open on my Q&A, I was like, I regret that. I regret not fucking being a bigger man and fucking just saying, like, yo, let's fucking talk. I regret not calling you, be like, yo, stop being a fucking pussy. Let's fucking talk about it because it's fucking with me.
All right, bro, buy me a Lambo. We cool. I was just trying to get him to agree with it on camera.
you see that stone cold fucking look. Yeah, because in a good feel. Yeah, man.
I bet it'll make you feel better.
Yo, so let's say this. You know what we should do? We should have a podcast, you and me. But we can only shoot it like this, and we should only shoot it once a month.
Dude, I'm fucking down.
Like, I'll come down here. We'll call it something fucking cool.
I'm in. Well, I'll do the branding.
That's fine. Sure, man. If you think you got it. You know what I'm saying?
You got it?
You got it?
I mean, hey, I'm in.
I like chilling. Like, you know what I mean? I had nothing to talk about. And I don't think that I've thought about a thing to talk about.
This was great. Yeah. I don't even know what time it is. How long have we been
doing this? Hour and 35 minutes. Hour and 35.
Well, that flew by.
Yeah, I had a really good time. The same thing happened with the other one. And we were not even drinking this time.
Yeah, I had one drink, bro. I'm about to piss my pants. I've been holding in pee for like 30 minutes.
All right, well, let's
I'm
call
hot,
it.
bro. I don't know why I wore a fucking hoodie for this thing. Bro, I've been sweating.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right. Well, thanks for copping on, man. I had a really good time. I wish we had drinks. No,
we should have done this like last night.
No.
Oh, we couldn't do it last night.
You could not do it last night.
Holy shit, I golfed 8 hours. I think I drank 16 White Claws yesterday.
I asked you guys. 3 people in your party drank 16 White Claws.
Yeah. I at minimum.
I had.
And my hangover wasn't bad this morning because
I didn't think it was going to be that fucking hot, to be honest.
95 degrees, brother.
I smoked that joint, and then immediately after that, I had like 3 fucking Gatorades. 3 Gatorades, fucking like 7 White Claws, and I was just like, not my thing. Hot dog. And that's it.
Oh, bro, it was a great day.
It was a good day.
Glad you came out. All right, end this shit so I can pee.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Anyway, thanks for hopping on. All his shit's gonna be in the description below.
I gotta pee.
Maddie,
I'll be right back.
Cut it, send it, print it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see the podcast continue on with my man Nate and I, then obviously we should open up a podcast. I think it'd be a good idea. Matt, will you come to California once a month with me? Have fun, eat some good foods. All right. Well, anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember not leave without leaving a like. Share it with somebody if you guys enjoyed it, because I'm pretty sure that you guys will enjoy it too. Next week, we have my man Jack Courage Dunlop come on, because last time that we spoke, he was literally like taking off. You know, if he's at a level 60 right now in the success, because he still has a lot of success to come to him, he was at like a 30. You know what I mean? Like, he's incredible. Like the trajectory that he had, we sort of saw and I sort of talked about it in the podcast. But anyway, we discussed that next week. We'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.